Good morning, adventure team. Gresham Toyota, all you adventure guides out there. It's Saturday, April 4th, had to double check, 2020. And dive right into our Saturday sales meeting. Hey, Clayton. So the first thing I want to talk about is a little housekeeping, and that is the most important person that we have working here these days, Tiani Fitzgerald. We passed our inspection yesterday with flying colors. Only thing that they really said is in the service. See, I'm pointing like you know where I'm pointing, but it's the waiting area over there, the service lounge. They said that we needed to move a couple chairs further apart and have a little more space in there. So overall, let's be mindful and let's keep being mindful of that. Yesterday, I had to remind a salesperson kind of to give a little more space with the customer, you know, and salespeople too on the showroom. I reminded it now's not really the time to be going and trying to seek extra conversation with someone and getting up close and personal with them. Let's just focus on what we're doing and adding something right now to our craft. And we'll get into that here in a little bit in the motivational segment. But keep going on housekeeping here. So Tiani, thank you very much, but please don't think that Tiani can help with anything other than cleaning. And even though that, you know, there's an easy opportunity at times to get caught up into this person can help with this person can help with that, and we all want to be helpful. Tiani really needs to keep focusing on cleaning. That's the most important thing that she can be doing, and it's the most important job in the dealership right now because we want to keep operating. Next thing is for housekeeping is key tags, and I mean the ones that go, the little fob deals that register inside of the key track system. We have a bunch more came in. Bill got us from Epic, I believe, but Rochelle also has keys in her desk that she didn't have the tags for at that time, so unless she's updated that, I guess what I'm saying is we have a lot of new that came in the back bullpen off of the truck, and they're starting to stack up so we can sell them. But there's keys that are either at the front desk or Rochelle's desk to be mindful of if you can't find keys, that they are here somewhere. Next thing on housekeeping is emails. We need to, it's amazing that in 2020 we talk about still getting a customer's email, but we need to make sure that they are in every single car deal, and that means before it goes back to finance, desk guys make sure that they are in there, and closers, everybody, salespeople, there should be no reason why we wouldn't want someone's email to follow up with. The last portion of housekeeping before I get into the next segment is our continued observation of our verbiage on the showroom floor, and we don't have the benefit of a curtain. Like if we were on stage, there's no curtain. We're always on stage. The curtain is always up. It's always drawn. And so we need to make sure that we're using the correct verbiage, and I've used this one in the past as the example of using the word grind, like, and we would probably say it in a nice way, like let's not grind on a customer, and what we're really meaning by that is let's not make it a difficult thing where we go back and forth a bunch of times to get to a car deal, and that's just one example. Just please be mindful of your verbiage at all times, as especially now more than ever, we can have a microscope on us for things that we do. I mean, it's not like we have 100 customers coming in every single day and we can decide who we want to sell a car to and who we don't want to sell a car to. We need to take advantage of every single opportunity, and we need to show them more thanks for coming in than we ever have before. Next thing, as I get into before I get going onto the motivational portion, is connected services. If you don't know, and that ties into email, why it's so important to have your email addresses. If you don't know how to do connected services, Shigeru Kobayashi is my main man on connected services. I can't remember the last time that he missed even one. Thank you, Shig, for always doing a great job on connected services, and I think he taught Chris Moyer recently how to do it, and please spread the word, because in the infotainment age as we're in, customers are going to have salespeople that show them how to do this stuff, and you don't want to be a salesperson who doesn't know how to do it or doesn't show a customer how to do it. Okay, as we get going here into the motivational segment of the show, I want to talk about a big secret in the car business. And that is using, okay, it's not a secret, but it's using your cell phone to your advantage. And I want to somewhat not loosen up the rules of using your cell phone on the showroom floor. However, I want to make sure that you understand if you're using your cell phone for something productive on the showroom floor, like taking a picture of a vehicle to send to a customer or doing a video to send to a customer, that is quite all right. And so that brings me to video. And the first thing is testimonials. Our testimonials need to really get going right now, because the more people that we can show that's having an excellent experience with us buying a vehicle, the more believable that we are. And so, Pasha had a nice one the other day with a gentleman that actually was here the previous day and came back. We got him back. And that was from our follow-up calls that we got him back, and Pasha did a really, really good testimonial with him. And if you haven't seen it, you can find it on YouTube, on Pasha's YouTube page. But managers, Ladin, David, Chris, Richard, finance, Ian, Joshua, Jonathan, Brian. If a customer says they've had a really, really good experience and they're talking about the salesperson, we should always acknowledge the fact that the biggest way that you can show your appreciation to a salesperson is by doing a testimonial for them. Because this is even better than having a review, because video is what's believable. If it's on video, it happened, right? And so please, testimonials is a huge thing we need to focus on right now. Managers, please take part. It's the ultimate compliment. And next part of using our cell phones is walk around videos. We have 250 used cars on the almost 250 on the ground right now, every single day. And the reason I'm bringing this stuff up is because it's easy to fall into a trap of, woe is me, it's slow, nothing going on, versus getting out there and making something happen. Not just waiting around, actually going out and creating. Don't wait, create, right? Where do waiters work? Waiters work in restaurants. This isn't a restaurant. In fact, we can't even make cookies or whatever anymore, right? So what that means is go out and do some walk around videos on, you gotta have at least 5 favorite used trucks out there, 5 favorite used cars out there, 5 favorite used minivans out there. I think we got more 2020 Siennas pre-owned right now than we do brand new. So please go out there and get your walk around videos on these used cars. In fact, that brings me to, let's just hear from the experts on it. The book that I read this week, and I already finished it because I really liked it. So what I do is every week I start on Sunday a new week, or a new book for the week, and then I finish it on Saturday. So I just take the total pages on Sunday when I start the book. I look at the total pages, and then I divide that by 7, and that's how many pages I know that I need to read each day. It's not complicated to read one book per week. But my book that I've already finished it this week, because sometimes I can go ahead and read more pages than the minimum. This is called Build Your Brand. And you can see that this is about car sales. This is the car salesman's blueprint to building personal brand online by Sean Hayes. And he talks in here, I just want to read a couple excerpts from you. And he talks about video. And here are some of my favorite videos to do for my customers. Number 1, video personalized responses. These are videos where you simply grab your phone and send your customers a message just saying hi and thanking them for the inquiry or coming into the dealership. Maybe you should show them the car they inquired on in the background, or maybe it's a simple confirmation of the appointment. This literally is a face to the name and replies to all as in. So it takes you know, it eliminates voicemails, right? This is a new way of just doing voicemails. Like when we used to do voicemails like this. This is better than that. Number 2, walk around videos. We just talked about that. Now we're hearing from the expert, Sean Hazy, saying the same thing. The experts say the same thing. Number 2, walk around videos. When a customer inquires on a specific car and hasn't come in yet, the ability to send them a personalized video message showing them the car in question is a fantastic way not to only build rapport, but attract the customer to come and visit your store. These do not need to be long and detailed, but they should give an overview of the car in question. Don't overdo it, right? Make it a quick little walk around video on the car, just enough to get them excited and to give them extra attention and to show them that you're with 2020. Number 3, introduction video. I've asked you to do this. If you haven't done this, please get your introduction video done. This personalized video is similar to video number 1, but this one I might tell the customer a little more about myself. And if you use these videos, you make a long one, you make a short one, or whatever, you can cut them and use just certain portions of them that you want to send to a customer. Number 4, special occasions videos and staying in touch. I really love this one because this is like how snail mail used to be, just a way to stay in touch with somebody. So often we call customers on their birthday, the car's anniversary, at 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, or for Christmas, or for a sales event, and guess what? No answer. Instead, recording a quick 30-second video and sending it to your customers is a powerful way to stay in touch in a very personal way, which makes you stand out from the pack and saves you a lot of time. It will definitely make you stand out from the pack, I promise you. And now I'm going to jump right into another book. And there was a gentleman that came by a while back and saw Bill and I, and he ended up doing training at the Honda store, a full day's worth of training. But I was smart enough to get this gentleman. He gave me 2 books while I was here, and the bigger of the 2 is on my list to read in like 5 weeks or 6 weeks, so I can't wait to read it and tell you about it. But this one, since I finished Build Your Brand so quickly this week, I figured I would throw in, this is how to sell 100 cars a month. And the guy that came by is this guy, Damien Boudreau, and then Ali Rita is a guy that's currently in the car business selling over 100 cars a month like clockwork. And it talks about in here how it's not one of those like fleet type situations, etc. So I'm reading this one. I'm already on page 25, and it's a short read. It's only got like 60-70 pages, so I'll have this one done very quickly, and I've already picked up some really good stuff. So let me dive right into it. Running out of time here. Number 1, I get myself out there as much as possible, and I'm just diving into these are things that he does to serve his customers and that he feels that he does a little bit differently. Here's what I do on a daily basis to sell 100 cars in a month, and it's amazing how simple these are. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't want to take up that much of your time, but if you want to get this book, please let me know. Number 1, I get myself out there as much as possible, so I'm building new relationships all the time. You know, anywhere you go, you should be doing that. Number 2, I will do just about anything for a customer. And this goes to Jeff Swickert's hospitality stories that we get from other dealerships that we provide ourselves, and it really goes above and beyond. So just to give a little excerpt from this, serving customers goes beyond greeting them at the door and taking them on a demo drive. You want these people to be friends for life. So help them out in any way you can. Did they happen to mention they need someone to fix their roof? Do you know a good contractor? Hook them up. Does your customer own a restaurant? Take your family out to eat there. Patronize your customer's business. For those of you who have got your hair cut with me lately over at the barber shop, we're really helping that gal out right now with getting our hair cut, and that's an example of that. Show them you appreciate them. How else can you help? What about calling a tow truck for them if they happen to get a flat tire? Maybe you could send them tickets to the local ball game if you know they are fans. Get creative and help in any way that you can. Number 3, I treat everybody the same. Do you have a habit of judging whether someone can afford a new car just by looking at them? They all deserve my best. I treat them all the same, like royalty. The thing is, you really don't want to know their background or anything about them until you get to know them. Okay? So, when you adopt this mindset that everyone deserves to be treated like royalty, everything gets easier. Number 4, I am patient with my customers. Number 5, I stay front of mind with all my customers. Every customer you meet should be a customer for life. If your neighbor comes in, 4 to 5 years, so help them remember you. Send them an email, newsletter every now and then, call to check on them, right? Follow up. Number 6, I tell the truth every time. And I have never had to lie to sell a car. I never want you to ever lie to sell a car. In fact, I have seen people get terminated for lying, and I never want you to feel like you are in a business that has anything to do with that sort of selling or whatever it is that you call it. Do not lie. I'm not smart enough to remember what I tell everybody unless it's the truth. I like that line. Number 7, I deliver what I promise every time. And this is really, really important to me. Nothing drives me more crazy than people that overpromise and underdeliver, right? Do not be afraid to get someone's response by saying no, because you always have the option to deliver on it later. And when you do, you look like a superhero. Number 8, I sell from stock. Now, we will do everything we possibly can to make every single car deal, if that means going out and getting it for you. But you will be amazed at how many more cars you sell when you focus on selling from stock. Number 9, I have fun. I think I got on Adrian yesterday for not having enough fun. Right now, more than ever, yes, there are certain things that we need to pay attention to on social distancing and whatnot, but have fun. Make sure your customers are feeling that you're having fun and seeing it as a fun environment. Fun but professional. Fun yet professional, but have fun. Okay, let's keep going. I want to talk about great jobs in March, even though it's already, the 4th? April 4th, right? But I want to talk about finishing up March, and there's some people I'm so proud of, and the first one is Tony Gatto. A lot of times when it's slow or there's a global pandemic going on, it's easy to think that we're not going to sell as many cars, we're just going to shut down, it's going to be slow, we'll leave the work to the rest of the people. But Tony Gatto rose to the occasion, sold 21 cars in a global pandemic. Thank you, Tony. That is a great job. I can't say enough how how respectful that is to sell 21 cars last month. Chris Moyer. This guy I am so proud of for sticking with it. This is called persistence. This is called belief in yourself, staying positive, but my favorite is the belief. When you believe in yourself, it's amazing what you can do. And think about what you tell your kids if you have kids, or if you were to tell your best friend when they're really down, and you would tell them, you got to believe in yourself. Chris, great job. I know that you really needed to have a big month, and you did. I am so happy for you. Jenny Herndon, Aunt Jenny, just continues month in and month out and Jenny is very, very, she wears her heart on her sleeve. She's always looking to help somebody. I think almost every day now she asks if we want groceries. And I can't say enough how appreciated she is to the team. And speaking of team, the best teammate we could ever possibly all work with in our lives, she made Eagles. I love it when she makes Eagles because you deserve to every month. And that is Alex Boyko. Thank you, Alex. Oh, our OE, Adrian the Blairs. I'm so happy when Adrian gets in Eagles because he was one of the original Eagles. And I've noticed a huge, huge attitude change in Adrian over this last year. And I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all you do, Adrian. Here is who I like to call Mr. Eagle, and that is Shigeru Kobayashi. I already mentioned him on Connected Services. He's one of those guys that you only have to tell to do something once, and he picks it right up. He does it over and over again, the way that you tell him to do it, the right way. Thank you very much, Shig. Last but certainly not least, one of my all-time favorites, Pasha Panchenko, talked about the video that he did for the customer testimonial, which is the best one, maybe the only one I've seen over the last couple days. He's in Eagles almost every month, sometimes gets the maximum amount of points, and just keeps on going, and I really appreciate it. Great job, and thank you, Pasha. I want to talk about a couple more things here. and I'm going to be I want each one of you to do this assessment. So instead of doing like our quarterlies right now, because I don't feel like I want to try and guess what your numbers should be, and some can say that it's really important to do a quarterly right now with the minimum amount of cars you're going to sell, etc. However, I personally don't feel like it's a great time to do that. So instead of your quarterly, this will be your quarterly, and it's a self-assessment. And it's from a book called Water the Bamboo. So this is a Water the Bamboo assessment. I got a big stack of them, and I'll keep them up at the sales desk. But please do these, and I'll be following up with you to make sure that you do them, because this is my way of staying involved with who you are and what you got going on. So please, and thank you. 80-20 principle. And it says goals right there. But it's got a list of things that are low yielding activities and then high yielding activities. And I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown on them. I know that I'm taking up a lot of time here this morning, which I know I have a tendency to never do that, right? But examples of low yielding activities would be checking emails, running errands, customer support, checking stats, cooking meals, cleaning, writing proposals. And then high yielding activities, making sales calls, following up, collecting testimonials, generating leads, writing sales copy, building sales funnels, and shooting videos. That brings me to, and I've showed this to you before, I'm gonna end with this before we have a phenomenal, super Saturday. I'm so excited to see you today. It's still really early in the morning. I won't even tell you what time it is because you guys might turn me in and then they'll come with the white coats and collect me. But here's the sales statistics sheet that I love to show you, right? And 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. And this comes from, if you ever have a chance to look him up, this comes from a friend of mine, Josh Lessitz at Closing Big. He's a training company that goes around nationally. He's also hooked up with Eric Thomas, who's a big motivational speaker. If you ever want some motivation, look up Eric Thomas on the internet, on YouTube. But 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and stop. Only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% are made on the second contact. 5% are made in the third contact. And remember, only 10% are following up, right, at 3 contacts, yet 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% are made on the fourth contact. 80% of sales are made on the 5th or more contact. 80%. If this doesn't say that we need to follow up with our customers, nothing will. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all for all you do. We have the best team that ever existed. I truly believe that. For all those of you that are at home with your families right now, stay healthy. We can't wait to get you back, but please be thinking about what you're gonna add as we come out of this, and we are coming out of this. Thanks so much.